Welcome back, everybody, to the Fruit of Grisaia. Wow, that's a true statement.
It really is. I feel like I run into that problem every time I have the weekend come along or just a day off in general. I'm like, oh man, this is a great time to get so much stuff done. And then I find myself doing nothing.
A lot of times, if it's like a day that I have off, I'll sleep. I can.
Yeah, but sometimes you do need that time to recoup. You can't just be go, go, go all the time.
That's true.
It's not good for you. It's very difficult to use your time off effectively. In particular, when you're in a profession like mine, your holidays tend to be irregular and come with many restrictions on how you can spend them. It's hard to make plans ahead of time, and when you do, they'll be spoiled as often as not. As a result, I tend to use my free days to catch up on sleep, get in extra exercise, and read books. Things that I can do without the need of any advanced planning or preparation. That is a good use of a day off. The major side effect is that I've never been able to form much in the way of a hobby or interest to enliven my usual routine. My schedule may have changed once I entered this school, but my mildly pathetic recreational habits remain much the same.
Hey!
I'm working through a calisthenics routine in the dorm lobby. Amane is providing helpful commentary. Machina is waxing poetic.
Look, the stage whispers and dramatic sighs are all starting to get on my nerves. How about you just come over here and tell me to my face?
That wasn't even a stage whisper. Also, I appreciate that you got a little piratey at the end.
I have no idea why.
Tell it to me face.
Alright, never mind. Go back and do the stage whispers.
Yeah, really.
Look, I...
Nice, good job.
Alright, you know we're keeping that one?
Yep.
にしてもさ、本当にやること何もないの？ヘドはさすがに出ないけど、見ててため息の一つもつきたくもなるわよ、それ。
Look, you guys are also awake on Saturday morning, so what are you judging me for?
Yep, nobody is forcing you to watch. Don't listen to what I just said. Please keep watching. Amane squats down next to me as she speaks, her face full of pity.
Give me a break here. It's better than doing nothing, don't you think?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
確かにそうだけどさ、それでもせっかくの土曜なんだから、少しはなんかこう、もっとそれらしいことしたらいいんじゃないの？
Saturday.
This woman can be such a pain in the ass at times. Bringing my calisthenics to a halt for the moment, I stand up and turn to face Amane.
Alright then, as you're clearly a professional woman of leisure, Miss Amane, teach me how to make a delightful use of my Saturdays. I'm all ears.
Haha, you didn't expect that, did you?
Very simple question, Amane. How do you spend your free time?
I never thought about it.
いやだから週末のアバンチュールを優雅に過ごしまくる人生の達人周防天音先生に素晴らしい余暇のエンジョイの仕方を伝授してもらおうと思ったんだが
Machina, are you just going to be doing flavor commentary this entire episode? Should we just stop talking? I think you've got it better.
Actually, Machina's the third. She's just the third member of the Bridge Boys.
All right, cool.
口真似すんな！それに何よその安いコピー！
アバンチュール処女解放そしてびっくり開花
Wait, what?
What? Spring Awakening?
こうさ、顔めがけて水平にチョップとか打っていいと思う？
No, the nose bleeds a lot.
No. Actually, it wouldn't even work. She has no nose at the moment.
You know, accurate.
She looks like Goombella from Paper Mario.
Don't ask me. So, how do you spend your weekends, Amane?
そこに話戻すんだね。戻すんだね。話。
Look, if you want us to go on a random tirade about monkeys and dysentery again, we can, but I'd really rather not.
Since you go around calling other people dull human beings, I'm sure you have just really interesting hobbies yourself, right? Spit it out.
習慣、大人の隠れ家とかに特集されそうなパーフェクトな趣味なんでしょうな。さあ、どうぞ。
I don't think that's the same magazine.
マキナ、後で覚えてなさいよ。
Uh-oh.
私の趣味は掃除と洗濯と料理かな。
Okay, I think only one of those actually qualifies as a hobby.
Yes.
I drop my hands abruptly onto Amane's shoulders.
I'm afraid you've made a serious mistake here, my friend. Please allow me to explain in detail.
ごめん、分かってるからやめて。
Oh no, there's no stopping this train.
Choo choo. See, the things you listed are not what we'd call hobbies.
Disagree on the cooking point.
ダメ、
Yeah.
お願い言わないで。
Firmly maintaining my grip on Amane as she squirms around violently, I stare into her eyes, plaster on a fake smile, and deliver a blow of truth.
Those are chores.
分かってたけど、改めて言われるとすごく惨めだ。
Amane at last escapes from my grasp. Collapsing to her knees, she hangs her head in shame. Shame! Makina trots over to Amane's side and gives her back a few commiserating thumps.
まあなんだ、そのうちチミにも生きがいってもんが見つかるかもしれんから、それまではつまらない専業主婦でも頑張ってやってみるといいじゃないかね。しかし
やっぱりチョップをさ、こう。
Judo chop! Judo chop!
Well, you're the one raising the girl. Discipline her as you see fit.
Oh, she got permission. Anyway, with this level of instruction, it doesn't seem likely I'm going to find myself a hobby worth being proud of anytime soon.
昼間から何をギャーギャー騒いでるのよ。うるさくて起きちゃったじゃない。
Go back to sleep, Michiru. Michiru arrives on the scene. She's obviously been awake for several hours already. Probably thought our noise was a good excuse to be Nebi? Nebby?
Nebby.
What is Nebby?
I just know the two other similar, or one similar word, but it doesn't mean the same thing. But I think in that case to be Nebby, right? Because there's two B's. So, yeah.
Nosy, inquisitive, or prying. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's primarily used in western Pennsylvania and parts of the UK. That's very specific.
Okay.
All right. Well, the more you know.
I know Nebbish, which is different.
It's all new to me. Anyway, enough vocabulary lessons for the day. By the way,
Motherfucker.
son of a bitch. Anyway, by the way, Nebby would be Kansai slang for someone with a desperate need to stick their nose into other people's conversations. I've been picking up a bit of this stuff from Amane lately. I could have said nothing at all.
ユージの無趣味ぶりをみんなで弾劾してたのよ。
That's not true. Being sarcastic to others is a hobby.
趣味？
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything particularly worthwhile to occupy my leisure time, which is what they decided to pester me about.
確かに、あんたは趣味とかなさそうよね。ずっと部屋で親指だけの腕立て伏せとかしてそうなイメージ。
Well, I mean, if you do it to 80s music, it could be considered a hobby. Or a montage. I understand what she means, but at that point, wouldn't it technically be a finger stand rather than an arm stand?
チルチルの趣味はオナニーだもんね。
Okay.
お前、何言うのよ、いきなし。
She didn't technically say no.
だってチルチルが毎日することで習慣になりそうなのってそれぐらいしか思いつかないのよ。
Drinking vitamin C? Also, why can you picture that? Hold up.
I have many questions.
のっけー、あんたに私の何がわかるって言うのよ。そんなの毎日はしてないわよ。猿みたいな扱いをしないでくれる。
Right, but if you say Mookie at the beginning, you're the one that sounds like a monkey.
Also,
毎日
if
じゃない
you
にしても
say...
してるのは間違いないのよね。
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
それはってユージがいる前でする話じゃないでしょ。
Yeah, it's fine. Keep going.
I mean, technically, I'm gonna... Anyway.
Yep.
あら、私は堂々と言えるわよ。昨日だってユージのことを考えながらこう指で。
Okay, we know. We know this. We've seen her
I
jump
mean, I
into
guess
our
we do
sheets.
know.
So,
But she is saying it out loud in front of everybody. Or at least 2 other people.
she has no shame.
うっとりした口調で明らかに誘うイメージでそんなことを言うな。ユージもなんとか言ったらどうなのよ。
I don't think we can help.
Sorry, but what exactly am I supposed to say here?
Valid question.
そんなオナニーとか言わないようにしなさいとかそういうこと言ってたしなめればいいじゃないの。
Hey, it's a perfectly healthy thing to do.
で、チルチルは週に何回すんの？指？道
For some reason, when Machina talks about it, it gets weirder.
It does.
ユージをおかずにしてやったことある？
Oh.
父とか思い出せる？
Wow, I'm sorry.
皆さん集まってミチル様のオナニーの話ですか？
Oh, Sachi with the death blow.
Hachi? I just imagine her
ここの
like
建物ごと爆破してやりたい。
running for that, not even just like from the hallway, but like from upstairs, just like
Her ears just perked up as soon as she overheard a little bit of the combination, and she was like, oh, I'm getting in on this.
ミチル様、爆破にはそれ相応の知識と資材が必要になってくるので、あまり現実的な手段とは言えませんよ。
Right, but if she asked you, or rather told you to get some implements to
Uh-oh.
do so.
わかってるわよそんなこと。例え話を本気にしないでよ。申し訳ありません。ミチル様ならばやりかねないと思いまして。もう
try to keep it down, will you?
Well, since I've come here, I guess my leisure time has been increasingly filled with this sort of boisterous, trivial chat. Even in that alone, I think I've gained something from entering this school.
By the way, where is Sakaki?
Considering the topic of our conversation, I don't think she'd be sticking around for long even if she did drop by, but I haven't seen our box cutter girl even once today. At a glance, her normal, reserved seat next to the pillar at the edge of the lobby doesn't seem to have been disturbed recently.
今日出かけてるわよ。大きなトートバッグを下げてましたね。かなり早い時間でした。
そんなに早い時間に？
ええ、私がちょうど起きた時でしたから、5時過ぎぐらいでしょうか。
Wow. Yeah, that's early any way you look at it. It's one thing if you're a compulsive morning runner like me, but most people aren't going to wake up at that hour on a Saturday. Grade schoolers with their radio exercises, or old men doing Tai Chi for their blood pressure, maybe.
バッグの中、何入ってんだろう。なんでしょうね。大量のカッターが入ってるとかでしょうか。
And this is my favorite box cutter, and this is my red box cutter, and this one, ooh, this one has 2 blades.
Why
相
is she
変わらず
from
謎よね、
Wisconsin?
あの子
I don't
は。というか、前にもこんな話したっけ、ここで。
Now that you mention,
Amane's words bring to mind a previous Sakaki incident, set off after a round of scary stories in the lobby. That affair shed light on one aspect of Sakaki's true nature, but not a particularly large or revealing one, and I haven't gained any further insights since. Sakaki's private life is as mysterious as always. As soon as we get back from school, she tends to lock herself up in her room. On the rare occasions she does poke her head outside, she actively evades any real attempt at conversation.
now here's a question. how about Sakaki? What does she do with her freedom?
Read. I'm not that caught up on actually finding an answer to this question, but I can't deny that the contrast between the shameless openness of this bunch and Sakaki's cloak of secrecy leaves me slightly interested.
ほなにいいかな。
Why is it always that with you?
あんたとりあえずそこから離れなさいよ。
I'm beginning to think that Machina is a little bit of a closet perv, except for maybe not that much of a closet.
I was about to
何
say,
言ってんのさ。小、老、病、死。いずれもその根底にあるのは生の喜びなのよ。
Alright then.
なんでマキナはこんな子になっちゃったんだろ
to
う。
be fair, Amane, this is probably your fault.
Yeah, I feel like she's probably responsible for this.
悲しむのもわかるけど、これが現実だ。受け入れろ。な。
The sparkles.
私が悪いのかな。もっと肌の露出を減らさなきゃいけないのかな。
I feel like the clothing is
Or like-
probably...
Or clothes at all.
Well, I feel like that's only a small part of the issue. I feel like everything else is a bigger part.
Yeah.
あの子、教室では本読んでるじゃん。読書じゃないの？趣味。
それは違うと思います。
どうして？
榊さんは本を読んでいる素振りだけで、実際は読んでいないことが多々あります。
She just reads the same page over and over again while listening to everybody talk.
決まった数ページを何度も繰り返したり、そもそもページをめくらなかったり、何日もずっと同じ本を読んでいたこともあります。
Well, it was a joke until it wasn't.
You're observant, Sashi. Brilliantly so. Or bizarrely so. Both.
I'm honestly kind of surprised Yuuji didn't pick up on that considering how observant he is otherwise.
はい、マキちゃんに言われて、一時期ずっと観察しておりましたから。
Of course. Wait, is she talking about that time we investigated Sakaki? I thought our mission wrapped up after we succeeded in startling the girl, exposing her scaredy cat nature, and generally making life miserable for her. But you never did tell her to stop, and so she's been doing it ever since.
Yep, the program keeps running.
Uh-huh. But apparently Sachi was still on observation duty?
サッチンの調査能力は完璧なのよさ。
I'm sure they are, so try not to waste them on stupid crap, alright?
That was our fault, though. Anyway, at any rate, it seems the bookworm theory is fairly dubious.
ナイフアクションとか。
Now that I believe.
カッターからの安易な発想よね、それ。
だって他にないでしょ。歩いてるか座ってるか本読んでるかカッターで人に切りつけるかしかあの子の姿って見てないんだもん。
And breathing. When you describe her that concisely, Sakaki really does seem quite the fearsome character, doesn't she?
まあいいじゃない。あの子だって人間なんだから、影でおなったり、エロ画像を集めたりしてるわよ、きっと。
This is the source.
This is where Machina gets it.
We have found it.
You know, I think we were talking about leisure time and hobbies here. But somehow the topic of discussion seemed to have shifted to Sakaki's sex life. And how did that happen exactly?
暇で何もすることなかったら、とりあえずエッチに走るんじゃないのかな。じゃあ、何か榊さんに変化がありましたら、皆さんにご報告いたしますね。
Okay, Sachi, that's not necessary. Really, truly, like, not necessary.
はい、わかりました。ではしません。
There we go.
Yay.
The last thing we need is this nonsense leading to something troublesome and making things awkward in the dorm. If Sakaki wants to talk, she'll do so in her own time. It's not like I have any pressing need to know more about her, so I'm not going to pry when she wants to be left alone.
あ、いっけね。洗濯物洗ったまま干すの忘れてた。じゃあ私戻るね。
Oh no, my hobby! Amane patters off toward her room. Sachi and Machina rise off the couch and follow suit. But before I can get up myself, Michiru sidles up with an inquiring look on her face.
どうしたの？ユミコのことが気になってる？
No, not particularly.
I only stuck around because I'd been planning to continue my calisthenics, But Michiru ignores my answer to her question, draws her own conclusions, and forges ahead with this one-sided excuse for a conversation.
まあ気になるんだったら早朝にでも入り口で貼っておけばご本人に直接確認できるんじゃない？
I think you do care.
I have better things to do with my time.
へえ、ついさっき無趣味ぶりをさらけ出したばっかりなのに。
Look, if you want to talk down to me, I'd suggest you first find a hobby other than masturbation.
だからそっから離れろって言ってんでしょ。やるわよ。
You're still not denying it.
みちる様、本当にオナニーが趣味だったんですか？みちる様。まあ人生長いんだからそういう時期だってあるさ。猿のようにたけってオナニーにふけり、次の目標を考えるんだな、みちるくん。
あー、何か口に詰め込んで死なない程度に苦しめられるものとか落ちてないかしら。
Clawing furiously at her blonde head, Michiru shrieks a desperate entreaty to the heavens. In the end, our conversation about Sakaki's private life was diverted into the usual headache-inducing nonsense before we could reach any real conclusions. Not that it was a topic of especially great interest to me in the first place. A few sets of push-ups later, and I've mostly forgotten about the whole thing. But with a one-finger push-ups. He just becomes Saitama by the end of it.
Guess I'm up a bit early.
Probably because yesterday had been a fairly light day, I found myself awake earlier than usual. It's not like that's a bad thing, though. More time for a little calisthenics before my run. Wow, we are boring.
Hobbies, huh?
As I run through my stretches, I find myself thinking about the conversation we had here yesterday. I guess dull is in fact an objectively appropriate word for someone who uses all his free time to exercise. From a conventional viewpoint, training your body might well qualify as a hobby of sorts, but in my case, I'm maintaining a tool I need for my profession. Training is just a part of the job for me. So, yes, I basically have no hobbies. I think my personality is mostly to blame. Nothing really tends to capture my interests that strongly, or for that long. On that point, I may have something in common with Sakaki. By all appearances, she keeps everything and everyone at arm's length mainly because she's decidedly uninterested in learning more.
Think of it, didn't you say Sakaki?
With the sentence halfway out of my mouth, I sensed someone behind me and turned to face them. Hey! Sakaki's standing by the entrance, staring at me in surprise. There's a bulky tote bag lying at her feet. Aha! I can tell at a glance that it's stuffed full of various items. I catch a glimpse of thin wooden objects sticking out at the top.
早いのね。
For what?
起きる時間がよ。
At this point, the conversation from yesterday comes to mind again. The others mentioned Sakaki's habit of leaving the dorm early in the morning by herself. Apart from the large bag she always carries on these trips, no one has any clues as to what she's getting up to. Not that I'm particularly interested, but the flow of the conversation seems to call for a little light probing. That comes later?
You're up early yourself, Sakaki, so where are you off to?
I tried to phrase the question pretty casually. It certainly didn't sound too pushy coming out of my mouth. I honestly was just trying to draw her into a little small talk, but she didn't bite. Sakaki purses her lips for a moment before she speaks.
別に、私が何をしようが勝手でしょ。
Well, okay then. The sentence she finally fires off somehow manages to be simultaneously sharp and blunt.
What we've got here, Sakaki, is a failure to communicate.
Damn it, I made that joke earlier in the last episode.
You made it, I was going to say you made it last episode.
Yeah.
どういうことかしら。
I asked, where are you off to? And you responded, what I do is nobody's business. You know, that's the answer to a slightly different question. You were probably feeling self-conscious about whatever it is you're going off to do and ended up mishearing what I was asking.
Ooh.
あなたのそういうすぐ上げ足を取る言い方、不快だわ。
Ah, but it works, doesn't it?
You know, sadly, it's really not a habit. I was born this way.
とにかくもう聞かないでちょうだい。
Alright, I won't ask you about it again.
え
Sakaki's face fills with genuine confusion. She's clearly surprised by this ready concession to her demand.
それじゃあ失礼するわ。
Oh, yeah, see you later. Sorry to bother you.
Hingadingadurgan.
Yeah, happily Ferguson Day. Yeah, see you later. Sorry to bother you.
Enjoy whatever you're doing with your wooden pools.
She's going to get more giant paper.
As Sakaki heads for the exit, I turn around and begin my calisthenics again. But as I'm sitting on the floor and beginning to stretch out my arms, I realize that I haven't heard her leave the building yet. Can I help you?
What's up? You need something?
なんでもないわ。
Alright. Sakaki throws open the door in an apparent irritation and immediately leaves the dorm.
怪しいわね。
Why are you here?
何をしようとしているんでしょうか。
They were all watching, oh my god.
あの荷物気になるのよさ。
What's in the bag?
やっぱり武器とか入ってたんじゃないの？
What were you watching? You've all got way too much time on your hands.
You all need to get a hobby. Within seconds of Sakaki's exit, the other four emerge from their hiding places around the lobby. They've been planted in the lobby the whole time.
Don't tell me you actually went out of your way to wake up early so you could watch her leave.
No. Amane does her best impression of a mischievous child caught with one hand in the cookie jar. It's kind of unpleasant to watch.
なんか昨日の流れでちょっと気になっちゃってね。
みんな考えることは同じだったんですね。
Not us.
ユージがもうちょっと押せばユミコきっと言ってたよ。あの流れだったら。
Sorry, but I'm not that interested.
In the first place, if it was something Sakaki would feel comfortable talking about, I'm sure she would have responded differently to my casual question. That blunt refusal to talk probably means she has her reasons for keeping her activities to herself. I'm not so irrepressibly curious as to pester her on a sensitive topic, especially when she's not going to reveal anything anyway.
あの荷物だよ。あそこに組み立て式の羽とか変な光る棒とか衣装が入ってて、人知れずユミちゃんはそれに着替えてコスプレとかしているのよさ。
Okay, you know what? Bet.
Huh, your grounds for this deduction?
普段が目立たない地味無口キャラだから、休日ぐらいはきっと羽を伸ばしたいと思ってるに違いないのよ。だから
Dang it, you already
文字
ruined
通
my
り
stupid
羽
joke.
を。
You know, actually, I was thinking the same thing, but yeah, she beat us to the punch. She really is like the third member.
Amane, if you'd be so kind as to shut her up now.
しんどいしつけだけ母親に押し付ける父親って嫌われるよ。
Alright.
Are
ど
we
うしましょう
calling
か、
us
風
daddy
見さん。
now?
調査するのでしたら命じていただければすぐにでも。
They do seem to like playing house with Yuuji, so, you know.
No, I don't think there's any reason to put your ninja skills to test today.
つまんない。
Well, fine, you order her to do it.
If you want to know that badly, Michiru, go tailor yourself, one-on-one.
うげ。
She has no stealth skills. In fact, she may have a -1 to stealth.
I was about to say, she absolutely has a... Well, she didn't get caught this time, so maybe, yeah.
Okay, okay.
みちる相手だったら初手からいきなり刃物もありえるわよね。
血を見ることになりそうですね。みちる様のお体が心配ですが、自ら選んだ道でしたら致し方ありません。覚悟します。やるっつってねえでしょ。勝手に覚悟完了すんじゃないわよ。
Alright.
大丈夫。命は一つじゃない。チルチルなら3つぐらいに切られても、それぞれが新ミチルとなって生まれ変われるのよさ。
As long as your Charlie remains intact, you will be able to respawn. Like a worm.
プラナリア？ねえちょっとマキナ。あん
私をプラナリア扱いか。
Look, I'd really like to exercise at some point if you don't mind.
We're still here. We've been exercising in the lobby all day.
Yo.
Later that same day, shortly after finishing my outdoor training, I happen to be doing some cool-down exercises in the dorm lobby just as Sakaki returns. We really were exercising all day. She's holding her bag in the shadow cast by her own body, as if consciously trying to hide it from view.
Sorry about the morning.
First off, an apology for my earlier rudeness seems called for. Sakaki offers a vague non-response, squirming awkwardly where she stands.
Alright, see you later.
I turn away and restart my calisthenics. But
And
Sakaki...
1 and 2.
But Sakaki doesn't move a muscle.
And 3 and 4. Sakaki?
You wanna do some calisthenics? When I call out to her for the second time, Sakaki flinches in surprise, then shoots me a fierce glare. Well, never mind then.
どうもしないわ。どうもしない。
Yep.
Well, that seems a little bit much, but okay. Clearly talking to herself rather than me, she stomps off in the direction of her room. Well, after Sakaki's vanished from view, I'm still staring after her. That girl might not have said much of anything to me just now, but it's obvious that she's strangely tense.
Wonder if something's wrong.
As I'm puzzling over the matter, a certain woman of unusual proportions appears out of nowhere. Women of unusual proportions? I don't think they exist. Rawr!
なんかちょっと話したそうだったね、榊さん。
Amane approaches me with a knowing smirk on her face.
Oh yeah? I didn't get that feeling personally.
それはユージが基本的に鈍感なだけよ。
Well, rather than sitting on the sofa, Amane drops herself cross-legged onto the ground. Drawing her face close to me as I exercise, as if to give me a whiff of her perfume, she continues.
ねえ、ってどうなの？榊さんにちょっとは興味出たの？
Maybe.
Sorry, exactly what in the conversation just now suggested that to you?
あるからそんな思わせぶりな態度をとってるのかと思ったのよ。あえて踏み込まず、榊さんからやってくるのを待つというか。
Nope, calisthenics.
Look, I don't know about you, but I don't approach my relationships with other people as if they were a fish that I'm trying to catch. A yummy,
あら
yummy
や
fish.
だ。私はしないわよ、そんなこと。やるならもっと直接攻撃の方が性に合ってるわ。
Yeah, she does love her frontal assaults.
True, full frontal certainly seems more plausible in your case. Sorry, I misjudged you.
半分は天然で言ってるんだろうけど、ユージって時々本当にひっぱたきたくなるわね。
No, I think he does.
Sadly, I was born this way.
If we say it one more time, we'll summon Lady Gaga.
にしてもさ、榊さんって本当に何してんだろうね。誰にもほとんど関わらず一人でいるし、辛くならないのかな。
Well, you know, I guess being alone is the less painful choice sometimes.
うん
では今日はこれで終わります。
起立。
The weekend behind us, we're back in the classroom. As the day's lessons reach their conclusion, Sachi leads us in the formal bow that marks the end of every school day. The weekdays are nice and simple. Given a set schedule, I can coast peacefully through it without having to worry about how I'm spending my time, or about being insulted over my lack of interests. I shoulder my bag and leave the classroom. After dropping my stuff off in my room, I find myself heading to the roof of the dormitory for no reason in particular. When I can't think of anything to do with myself, sometimes I'll search out places where I can be alone and look at the sky. I wouldn't say that I prefer solitude, but every once in a while I'm seized with the need to get a break from the clamor of daily life, which has been very noisy indeed lately. As I swing the door slowly open, I realize there's someone already on the roof. The instant I set foot outside, she's staring at me with a slightly suspicious look on her face.
またあなたなの？
What, do you have a monopoly on the roof?
Sorry, but we do live in the same building. We're gonna run into each other sometimes.
別に悪いと責めているわけじゃないけど。
I mean, a little bit. So, can I come up?
私が決めることじゃないわ。
Having obtained Sakaki's assent, I stand beside the handrail and gaze up into the sky. It's a vivid shade of blue today. The sun shines powerfully down on us. I can feel the heat rising off the iron railing in front of me. After a moment, Sakaki turns to me and breaks the silence.
ね
Yes.
え、ひょっとして立ったまま寝ているの？あなた。
Literally or figuratively?
No, I'm awake.
何も言わないから寝ているのかと思ったわ。
Would you prefer to talk about something or ask you questions?
別にいいわ。そんなことしなくても。
I see. In that case, I guess I'll do what I feel like.
Sakaki tilts her head back slightly and gazes into the sky for a long moment.
She's like, huh, so that's what that feels like.
Her long hair catches the sea breeze and flutters like a flag.
よくここには来るのかしら。
Why do you ask?
Why do you keep answering questions with questions?
前にもここで会ったじゃないの。
True, now that you mention it.
I lean forward and grip the warm iron railing with both hands as I speak.
Ow, 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 hot.
A crusty crab pizza.
Every once in a while is the pizza. Every once in a while, I guess, just to look at the sky by myself.
あなたが？らしくないわ。
Why?
It really is every once in a while. Anyway, that's the only reason I come up here.
そう。
Everyone has times they want to be alone, right?
それは私に向かって聞いてるの？
No, we're only talking about me.
The sunlight today really is powerful. Very much a midsummer day. The shadow of a kite flying overhead moves slowly across the roof, wings and beak clearly defined against the concrete. As I follow the shadow's movements with my eyes, Sakaki blurts out unexpected words.
あなた聞かないのね。
Do you want me to?
About what?
私が休みの日に外で何をしているのかを。
Sakaki turns her face ever so slightly toward me as she speaks.
ああやって早朝から出て行ったら何をしているのか聞こうとするものじゃないかしら。
Well, I did ask, remember?
でもそれから一切聞こうとしなかったじゃない。
You told me not to.
Well, you told me you didn't want to talk about it, so I haven't brought it up since.
え、
I mean, if you changed your mind about that, I assume you'd let me know. I'm not looking to stick my nose in other people's business.
I turn my head slightly towards Sakaki, meeting her gaze out of the corner of my eye.
With the exception of when someone wants me to.
That policy isn't limited to Sakaki. I'm trying not to interfere with any of the students here more than necessary. I don't dislike any of them, and I don't have any reason to go out of my way to avoid them. But all the same, I don't have any reason to get closer to them. That said, when they're the ones approaching me, there's no need to reject them either. I'm trying to maintain that subtle balance, as my master taught me. Sakaki stares steadily at my face. Her expression lies somewhere between puzzlement and curiosity. I don't know what's gotten her interest all of a sudden, but it's clearly different from her usual apathetic gaze.
What is it?
At my question, Sakaki exhales lightly and closes her eyes.
なんでもないわ。
Sakaki abruptly walks away from the railing and heads for the stairs. Halfway there, she pauses briefly and looks back in my direction.
部屋に戻るわ。
Okay, is that an invitation or...
Right.
At my concise response, Sakaki's expression again takes on a shade of bemusement.
あなた、変わってるわね。本当に。
I have heard that before.
You know, for some reason I get that a lot. Honestly, can't understand why.
Really? For a moment, there's a rare smile on Sakaki's face.
それじゃ。
Yeah.
Sakaki opens the iron door and disappears inside the dorm. The kite I've been watching draws a lazy arc in the sky, as if to wave farewell, and then floats out of sight. The sun begins its slow descent toward the horizon as evening approaches. I push myself back from the railing and walk slowly toward the stairs, feeling the sun-warmed concrete underneath my feet.
Odd one, huh? Don't know if you're one.
Her hypocrisy is kind of charming. It feels like I've been lectured about drinking too much by an alcoholic. For some reason, I feel like I've warmed up to Sakaki a bit. Maybe we've got more in common than I realized. Or maybe it's just this heat. Could be both.
They definitely have a lot in common.
おーいミチルおーいってばんどこからともなくこの私を正義を呼ぶ声がする
Why do you sound like you're channeling Machina?
こっちだってばつうか正義関係ないし
There is no justice, only Amane.
どこ
Unrelated
ここだっつ
entirely.
の重たかったあまねどうしたのよその大荷物
Those are always there. Oh, wait, you mean what she's carrying.
いや調子に乗って買いすぎちゃったあんたね一人で一体どんだけ買い物してんのよ私一人の分じゃないってばマキナの分とユージの分とあそうだみちるあんたちょっと付き合ってくれない照英さんで卵 L サイズ10個98円お一人様1パックまで
You know, you could say bargain hunting is one of her hobbies when you think about it.
Actually, yes. Genuinely.
まだ買うの卵って何にでも使えるしあると安心するっていうか冷蔵庫開けた時卵が少ないと不安にならない
You got the hard-boiled eggs, the scrambled eggs, the over-easy eggs, omelets.
ならないしっていうかなくなったら買いに行けばいいじゃない私はそれが嫌なのよ食べ物はいつだって余ってるぐらいじゃないと落ち着かないのいいから付き合ってよツンデレなんでしょ
Wait, what?
What does that have to do with anything?
ツンデレと卵に何の関係が
Yeah, really.
いいから早くタイムセールが終わっちゃ
What?
That didn't go anywhere.
うもう仕方がないわね付き合ってあげるわよ
I respect that because sometimes I too have like non sequiturs like that.
It worked, so yeah, I guess mission accomplished.
そうそれそれやっぱりツンデレってそうでなきゃね
Alright.
何よそれあんたツンデレバカにしてんでしょ
What?
Huh?
してないってうふふうふふ言うな
No, that was a previous conversation. Okay.
All right.
Is this going somewhere, or...?
Hello? Okay.
あー重たかったと
No, that was a previous conversation in this room.
It just keeps coming back.
ただいまってここあんたの部屋じゃないじゃん
We've been through this.
Accurate.
あれユージいないのまあいいかみちるそっちの袋も貸して冷蔵庫にしまっちゃうから
Yes, distract her. As long as she's putting stuff in the fridge and there's somebody else there, she won't dive into our bed again.
勝手に冷蔵庫まで開けて
Ah,
さ
you're right.
なんかもう自分の部屋のノリだよねそういいじゃんどうせろくなもの入ってないんだし私の部屋冷蔵庫小さいんだもの突っ立ってないで座ったらお茶ぐらい出すよ
Make yourself comfortable in Yuuji's room.
あ、うん。
麦茶でいいよね。
Wait, what?
はい。
I'm sorry.
Well, she made herself comfortable. All right.
ありがとう。
Okay, we're just gonna let this slide. All right.
っておい
Nope.
びっくりした。何よ、急に大きな声出して。
Like, why did you do that before putting away the groceries?
何脱いでんのよ。なんで脱いでんのよ。
Is Michiru on the Amane route?
We all are and just don't know it yet.
Okay,
2
that's
回言っ
fair.
た。
そんなツッコミはいらん。なぜ脱ぐ。
ん？だって帰ってきたら着替えるでしょ、普通。
You're not home.
いや、そりゃそうかもしれないけど、ここあんたの部屋じゃないし、男の部屋に来るなり
You
外
think
バ
that's
ージって
bad?
どうなのよ。
Yeah.
別に裸のままでいるわけじゃないし、ちゃんと私服に着替えるわよ。
Wait, are you keeping your casual clothes in here too?
いうかさ、なんでこの部屋に天音の私服があるのよ。
Yeah.
あんたらあれ付き合ってんの？同棲してんの？なんでベッドの上にブラが脱ぎ捨ててあるの？聞きたいことが
Genuinely
山ほどあるんだけど。
like genuinely good questions because that would be the assumption.
Yes, it would.
あはは、ごめんね、散らかってて。
いいけどさ、気のせいかな。ユージの私物よりあんたの私物の方が多くない？つうか、本当に何にもないんだね、この部屋。
No,
テレビ
like
もないし。
Michiru for being someone who's very thick.
She's picked up on it.
I mean, definitely not as thick as Amane, but, you know, that's a whole different thing. Like, very much the questions you would ask, being like, why is the stuff in this room not his?
It's just going down the chain. Makina's taken over Amane's room. Amane's taken over Yuuji's room. Yuuji doesn't have that much stuff, so even if he were to do something like take over Makina's room, it wouldn't really matter.
Nope.
部屋を出れば目の前の談話室にテレビあるしね。私物といえばバックパックが一つあるぐらい。何が入ってるのかは知らないけど。
She goes to look inside. The backpack hisses at her.
ねえ、こっちの部屋は？
Ekans.
そこは開けちゃダメよ。ユージ本気で怒るから。
なんで？
言ってみればその1畳半の部屋がユージの私室なのよ。
だってここクローゼットだよ。何があるの？
A statue of Arnold made from randomly collected items.
だから開けちゃダメだってば。それに開けても別に何もないわよ。ただの空き部屋。
本当に？
一度だけ中を覗いたことがあるけど、紙くずが散らばってるだけで何もなかったわよ。
But if you pull on the scraps of paper, it opens a secret compartment with an embarrassing picture of Yuuji from the Christmas party.
何もないなら見てもいいんじゃない？
たとえ空っぽだったとしても、見られたくない場所っていうか、深入りしてほしくない場所ってあるじゃない？前に私が入った時、そこには入るなってすっごい怒られたもの。
She has one boundary.
何それ？
Does she?
Not really.
さあ、例えるならそう、携帯のメールボックスとかかな。勝手に見られたら気分悪いでしょ？
空っぽなのに？
空っぽのメールボックスを見られたくないんじゃないかな。
わけわかんない。
ユージの過去でも詰まってるんだよ、きっと。
はあ？
触れられたくないものって意味で。
ああ、そう言われちゃうと、まあ私にもそういう部分がないわけでもないし。
でしょ？だからそこはそっとしておいてあげてよね。
わかったわよ。
そんなことより晩ご飯の用意しなくちゃ。今晩は餃子にしようと思うんだけど、みちる、あんたも手伝ってくれない？
I haven't had gyoza in a minute.
That sounds really good.
ちょっと、あんた
と夕飯の面倒まで見てるの？どうせマキナの分も作るし手間は一緒だもの。暇なら餃子包むの手伝ってよ。なんで餃子？あいつ餃子が好きなの？
Why do you want to know?
にゃ？好きとか嫌いとかはあんまりないかな。何作っても食べるし。でもお肉はあんまり喜ばないわね。まあエビ餃子なら喜んで食べるかな。私餃子なんて作ったことないわよ。マキナに手伝わせなさいよ。あの子練り物系はダメなのよね。具で粘土遊びを始めるから。
Look, I made a crawfish.
じゃあサチを呼べばいいじゃない。なんで私なのよ。たまには次女にもお料理教えてあげようかなってね。いいからこっちいらっしゃいな。
She's just adopting everyone.
I mean,
次女？長女は料理なんてからっきしでカップ麺ぐらいしか作れないし、三女は生真面目だから教えれば覚えるけど、餃子なんか包ませたらそれこそ無限に包み続けるぐらい没頭しちゃうし、末っ子はさっき言ったように料理と粘土遊びの区別がついてないしね。だから次女？っていうか私ってアマネの中じゃ次女なのね。
well, she just explained the ranking system to you.
ガサツだし大雑把だし性格がねじくれててあんまり可愛くはないけれど一番女の子らしいのは次女だと思ってるわよ。
Wow.
それ褒めてるの？
No, I don't think it
He
was.
was to it too. That's the best part.
Oh, I know.
もちろん。それじゃまず下ごしらえしちゃおっか。だから私は料理なんかしたことないんだってば。簡単だって。キャベツと白菜を軽く湯通しして、タケノコの水煮とニラを混ぜて、ひき肉の代わりにエビのすり身をつなぎにしたあんを作って、市販の皮で包んでいくだけだから。
Oh, this is making me hungry.
っていうかさ、何にもない部屋の割に調理道具だけはやけに揃ってるのね。まあね。大きいお鍋とか部屋に置いてあると邪魔なものは全部こっちに持ってきちゃってるし。
It's just going to be his bed and a fully stocked kitchen at the rate we're going.
Yep.
それって単純にこの部屋を物置にしてるだけじゃないの？
No, today it's a dumpling ground.
まあいいじゃないの。そのおかげで美味しいご飯食べられるんだから。お塩取って。
Sorry.
塩？塩ってこれ？
I'm sorry?
What?
そうそれ。なんかでっかい粒が入ってるけど、何これ？
Wow, you really don't know anything about cooking.
ああ、入り米よ。乾燥剤の代わりに缶入りしたお米が入ってるの。何それ？おばあちゃんの知恵？あまねってさ、そういうところバカ臭いわよね。なんでよ。生活の知恵ってやつでしょ。はい、ズキョーンと。うわ、なんか意外と雑。包丁使わないの？おバカね。毎日料理するのに手間かけてどうするのよ。家庭料理のコツはどれだけ手抜きをするかがポイントなのよ。
Better to cut corners than your fingers.
そんなもの？
Yes.
餃子なんて難しいって思うかもしれないけど、小学生でも作れるわよ。確かになんか簡単そうに作ってるわよね。ズギョーンって。マキナにはいつも教えてることなんだけど、大切なのは工夫をしないこと。レシピ通りに作ればまず失敗なんてしないんだから。初心者が料理で失敗する理由の8割はレシピを無視した工夫という名の独自解釈よ。
Yeah, I've made that mistake before. Like not taking into consideration that a fresh ingredient and a dried ingredient do not need the same proportions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
なるほど。私はプロだから工夫するけどね。何入れた？今何入れたのよ。ああ、ウーロン茶。餃子のあんにウーロン茶を入れるとさっぱりして美味しくなるのよ。本当に？なんかべちゃべちゃになってない？ このべちゃべちゃがええんやないの。ユージ、ウーロン茶好きだしね。
Who loves oolong tea? Yuuji does.
Yuuji loves oolong tea.
Mm-hmm.
そんな理由なんか
I still,
えっと
like, the amount of things that I have learned and forgot in my life include literal language.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I'll never forget is that entire bit.
Oh, it's hilarious. No wonder it sticks in there.
さて、あとは包んで焼くだけ。どう？簡単でしょ？
っていうかいいの？こんな適当で。それに包むのが難しいんじゃ。
平気平気。欲張って具をいっぱい詰めようとするから失敗するんだって。具なんてティースプーン1杯分入ってりゃいいのよ。
Incidentally, didn't realize we were going to be learning how to make dumplings today.
あとは指にお水つけて、ちゃっちゃと閉じるだけ。いいからとりあえずやってみ。
うん。
そうそう、そんな感じ。表になる側をパタパタと畳んでいけばちゃんと形になるでしょ。
あ、本当だ。意外となんとかなる。
でしょ。じゃあその調子で4人前で40個パッパと作っちゃおうか。
ふむふむ。これちょっと楽しいかも。サチの気持ち少しわかるわ。
おっと、長男のお帰りだわ。
長男？
おかえりユージ。遅かったじゃん。どこで何してたの？
I wasn't making any trouble in the neighborhood.
See, I got in one little fight. I told you the reception on the TV in the lobby was getting bad, didn't I? Sachi and I were trying to fix the antenna.
She's still standing out there in a weird position trying to get reception.
へえ、そんで治ったの？
Yeah, although we ended up having to replace the antenna. Look, okay, forget me. What are you two doing in it?
見りゃわかるでしょ。晩ご飯の用意よ。今夜。
No, I'm asking why you're doing that in my room.
いいじゃん別に。あんたの分も作ってあげてるし。
You know, I don't remember asking.
But he'll still eat it.
でも、あれば食べるでしょ。
Exactly.
Well, can't let food go to waste.
素直じゃないな。食べたら食べたで美味しいって言うくせに、そういうのをツンデレって言うんだよ。ね、みちる？
そっか。ちょっとユージ。
What?
Stop stealing my shtick.
別にあんたのために作ってるんじゃないんだからね。
There it is.
自分の分を作るついでよ。ついで勘違いしないでよね。
Good job. Have a cookie.
あんたってさ、時々自分がツンデレだってこと忘れるよね。
Yep.
そんなことないわよ。
Well, fine. Try not to make too much of a mess in here, okay?
どこ行くの？
I'm just going to buy some oolong tea.
She already bought some.
ああ、そろそろなくなる頃だと思ったから買っておいたよ。冷蔵庫に入ってる。
I see. Appreciate it.
ねえ、アマね。あんたってさ、そういうとこちゃんと年上の女なのよね。感心するわ。
何よ急に改まって。
ちょっとユージ。
What now?
ちょっとあんた、当たり前みたいな顔してウーロン茶ゴブゴブ飲んでんじゃないわよ。
But it says organic on the label.
分かってんの？アマネがいるおかげで、あんたはそうやって普通
It
に
could
生
be
活で
like
きてん
that
のよ。
orange juice
それ
that's
を
like
忘れんじゃないわよ。
natural orange, 0% orange.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I guess. Can't forget that the front lines are only possible through the support of the supply units and the paymasters.
またあんたはそうやってわけのわからないこと言って、本当にわかってんの？
Better than you.
Well, to be honest, I have no idea why you've gotten so angry all of a sudden. Sorry.
私に謝ってどうすんのよ。
アマネに感謝をしなさい、アマネに。
Well, he did say appreciate it.
I don't really get it, but Amane, thank you very much for everything you do. I guess.
He could have just shaved off that last part and it would have been fine.
どういたしまして？
Okay, never mind. It was appropriate.
なんであんたまで語尾が疑問形なのよ。
You would think that Michiru would get... No, never mind. She wouldn't get it because she does the same kind of thing to Sachi all the time. Just expects stuff.
Yep.
だって別にお礼を言われるようなことした覚えないし、ねえ。
It might not seem like much to you, Amane, but to certain people who feel self-conscious about never doing anything for anyone else, I expect buying some tea looks like a truly heroic act of charity.
だよも
What do you want from me?
う。アマネに感謝しなさいよもう。そんで餃子作った私にも感謝しなさいよもう。
But you made it for you.
Oh, is that all? Of course, I'm grateful to you both. I appreciate it, Michiru.
なんか納得いかないけど。まあいいわ。今日のところはこれぐらいで勘弁してあげるわよ。
Soon after, the wafting scent of frying gyoza lured Makina to my room. Sachi, concerned to find Michiru's room empty, also stopped by before long. Wait, did we make enough for her? At that point, we adopted a resolution to invite Sakaki as well, initiate an extraordinary increase in dumpling production, and engage in a Gyoza Pig-Out Party. Again with the overflow. The Mihama Female Gyoza Corps was then established under the command of Suo Amane, Officer Komini Sachi, to pursue these objectives. All members hurriedly scrapped together the ingredients from their fridges. Our goal was set at 120 dumplings. There we go.
Makes sense.
The result of this emergency production varied widely in quality. There were a number of respectable dumplings, filled with relatively appropriate things like bean jam or cheese, but also some truly bizarre results, such as fish stick gyoza and wiener gyoza.
That's awesome. I feel like it works. Both of those I feel like would work.
You know, knowing you, that doesn't surprise me at all. That very much seems like both of those would be up your alley. I feel like a fish stick gyoza, though, would be a double fried gyoza because the fish stick is already fried. And then you're going in and frying it again. It sounds like something that you would get at a county fair or something like that.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I would still try it. Soon, dozens of dumplings were arrayed in front of the hot plate. Much like the weapons brought to battle by an army on the verge of defeat, the variation was rich, if not the quality. We began testing a wide range of dipping sauces as well, leading to even stranger combinations of taste. Oh, it's like the scene in, what was it? Cafe Stella, I think, where they had the flavor, the surprise, whatever it was. I don't remember.
No, it was, they had the, oh, fuck.
It was a little fried.
The octopus thing.
Yeah.
What's it called? Oh my goodness, there was one, like, I pass one every day. That one. I don't remember. It's
yeah,
late.
I'm forgetting the name of it, but anyway. Fortunately, Makina quickly complained that eating them plain tastes better. The group's experimental spirit restrained at last, the Gyoza Pig-Out Party drew to a close without any major casualties.
In my head, I read that as an orc. Eating them plain tastes better.
That does sound like something an orc would say. Well, in the light of our overwhelming amount of food discussed in the last episode, I'm ready to stop for something to eat because I'm getting hungry. We somehow learned a lot and not a lot about Sakaki in this one. I feel like we're getting closer to her, but it's going to be a very gradual, I almost said glacial, but honestly, I don't think it's quite that slow process. Mm-hmm. But, you know, we'll make it in due time. I do wonder about the pacing of her route, but maybe once we cross that threshold to getting her to open up, it'll be like opening the floodgates. And I do like the sight scenes with just the girls interacting with each other. I feel like we haven't had a ton of those.
I do too, because I really like them.
Yeah, I do too. And I like seeing the dynamics mixed between the group's small enough that you can have those intimate moments and it doesn't feel like it takes away from anything. It's good to learn more details about how they interact with each other and not just with Yuuji.
Well, I mean, one of the things I really like about, the most visually novels
Mm-hmm.
is finding out the dynamic between people when we're not involved.
Yeah, I like that a lot too.
Because that shows a lot about people. So I always like that. I really do. I like those kind of independent scenes.
Well, and it makes the narrative and the character development more interesting too. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you in the next one. For now, we are the Bridge Boys, signing off.